Namaste, I'm the Queen of Cups Montreal. This week's reading features the Modern Witch Tarot, and we will be exploring your shadow's urges and desires in order to help you get started or re-engage with your shadow self. At this point, I invite you to pick the deck or crystal which resonates strongest for you. In the video description, you will find links for my spiritual services, my Etsy store for healing crystals, and my social media. You will also find timestamps for your chosen reading, which you can use to navigate the video. Thank you for joining me. Please like and share. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications for future readings. As always, love all and harm none. This includes yourself. Namaste, Black Tourmaline group. Thank you for joining me. As I mentioned in the introduction, we're doing a shadow self spread. When we talk about shadow work or shadow self, for those of you who don't know, we're basically talking about the subconscious aspects of ourselves that we've avoided, aren't ready to address, or just are completely unaware of altogether. So position number one is, what have you been neglecting, ignoring? What is out of your peripheral, spiritually, mentally, or emotionally, that is hurting? Like, to not address it is hurting your greater good. It's hurting your development and growth. So I feel like you're deeply intuitive, it's spiritual. There's an aspect of yourself that's these inner waters and inner workings that need to flow more freely. You need to get back in touch with your spiritual self and your truer self. So I feel like, what aspect of yourself are you ignoring? The fact that you do need to have a spiritual grounding, a spiritual connection. You need to pay attention and tune into your emotional waters. You need to allow your true higher self to flow. So I feel like perhaps you've been neglecting that in some way. But let's take a look at why this aspect of yourself, the star aspect, that inner workings, that divine feminine within you, is being ignored. I think you're trying to start something new. You're trying to build something for yourself in the material, financial arena or home arena. You're trying to create something, and you're saying, I don't have time for this emotional work, spiritual introspection, when I'm trying to build something, when I'm trying to make things happen, when I'm growing myself in the material world. I feel that they're not mutually exclusive, though. You can grow something for yourself materially and still see to your emotional and spiritual self. And in fact, seeing to your emotional spiritual self will enrich your material experience. But how? Position number three is, how do you overcome this? How do you blend the two, as I just described? How do you make them merge together where you feel like there's enough for your material expansion and your spiritual and emotional expansion? It's about finding balance. It's about coming together, merging the two. I'm going to draw a clarifier because it's basically what I just said. It's merging the two. It's finding balance, finding room for each of them. So we'll finish the spread and then we'll clarify on that one. So where can you pull strength from to assist you in overcoming this, to assist you in overcoming and finding the balance? How can that help you? Where can you draw on? Who can you draw on? What can you draw on to help you overcome this challenge of merging the two? I feel like rolling forward, going forward, once again, balance with the white sphinx and the black sphinx. It's about balance and forward momentum. It's about trusting in yourself and going forward even if you may not know what's in store. It's about always staying in movement. Yes, that may sound a bit chaotic or busy, but I feel like it's about learning as you go. Perhaps you're a person that learns best as they go. And it's also, like I said, very much about balance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clarify the Four of Wands, because I want to know, how do you merge the two? Maybe some better ideas or clearer ideas about how you can merge your spiritual and emotional self with your material manifestations and goals. It's about trusting the path. I think it's about stepping in when you can step in. It's about going with the flow and trusting that when you do find that moment to grab it. I don't feel, once again, I get from my Black Tourmaline group this week that you're kind of like learning on the fly, learning on the go. You don't really like to, you're really experiential learner and liver, and like you like to be experiential in your journey. So for that reason, I feel like just find it when you can get it. It's about knowing that it won't be perfect. It's about knowing that sometimes you'll feel you fell short a little bit on the material, or sometimes you fell short a little bit on the emotional, but it's about giving yourself what you need when you need it. And perhaps what that's calling for is an intuitive approach to yourself. And that, of course, comes from knowing your emotional and spiritual waters. For that, you guys, it's going to be really simple. I feel like your intuition needs to be honed. Intuition and instinct together. So I want you to get some crystals for intuition. That could be amethyst, charoite, kyanite. We're thinking third eye chakra and crown chakra. And I also want you to get yourself some stones for instinct, which is the lower chakra. Carnelian, red tiger's eye, and red jasper. You guys, I hope this was helpful in terms of getting you started on your shadow work journey, or getting you engaged in your shadow work journey. With every reading, I send out a little love and light and namaste energy. I hope you received it today, and I look forward to seeing you again next week. Thanks a lot, guys. Namaste. Namaste, Labradorite group. It's a little bit rainy here today, so we're going to make the best of it. Thank you for joining me. As I mentioned, this reading will be about shadow work. And for those of you who are unfamiliar, it's about the subconscious aspects of ourselves we have neglected, are unaware of, or we're not in the past ready to address. Something subconscious, motivations, emotions, feelings. So position number 1 is, what have you been like kind of pushing out of your awareness? What are you not aware of? What can you gain? What can benefit you from acknowledging? So what do you need to acknowledge to grow and to benefit? So position number 1 is the Magician. So I feel like, yes, it's about acknowledging your power. It's about acknowledging how capable you are. Perhaps it's about acknowledging how much of a role you play in your future and in the things that manifest in life. So it's really about all the possibilities, potential, and power you have. Sometimes we pull back from that notion thinking like, it's just fate or the universe or whatever's going to come is going to come. But in fact, you need to embrace your power more. The fact that you are really you have a lot of say in how things manifest in your life, what you create, what you manifest in the life you live, the thoughts you think. As you'll notice here, most magicians have the sword, the pentacle, the cup, and the wands. It means like you have a lot of power in all areas. So it's about embracing that and taking ownership of your future and your path, which can be scary. But why have you been suppressing this? Why have you been turning your back on your power, denying your true power and the true autonomy you have over your future and your fate? I feel like there's an aspect of you that's wanting to balance the two. The Lovers is about that juxtaposition. Yes, it's about love, but it's about that juxtaposition. If, it's about dark and light. It's about, in some ways, good and bad. It's about that balance and the merging of the two. So I almost feel, Labradorite group, that you're saying to take responsibility for how much power I have. Maybe you're feeling weak, or you're feeling stuck, or you're feeling like you don't have a big say. But if you have to take responsibility for that, it means taking the good and the bad, responsibility for the good and the bad, It could also signify like having to love yourself regardless, having to really love yourself and having to really be one with yourself, pairing the higher self with your material self, pairing the shadow with the light. So this is about a coming together for you, and it's about trusting that whatever you manifest, whether you feel it's positive or negative, it's about you making the choice and you taking ownership of that. So it can be scary. It can be scary of merging the good and the bad, the shadow and the light. How can you overcome this concern about, you know, outcomes and merging the two and taking responsibility for your shadow side and your light side, for your higher self and your material self? I feel like this is really about, here we have the King of Swords, so it's about that wisdom you can gain from doing so. It's about experimenting. It's wisdom that you can gain from going in through your third eye and really finding that balance, finding that higher perspective, a higher perspective and a higher outlook where you can look at things and say, okay, I'm wise, I'm intuitive, I get things, I see things, and I can strike out and enact my will on the world. So how do you overcome this? Once again, trust in your mental acuity, in your wisdom, and your insight, and your power. Once again, you have this ability, almost like Virgo energy that I'm picking up. It's like you have this ability to really manifest what you want in your mind and to plan and to get a higher perspective, but you need to tap into that. And position number 4 is, where can you pull strength from to assist like in overcoming this and trusting yourself and trusting your wisdom and being discerning, and being able to make the right choices and being able to enact your will on the world? 6 of Wands. So I feel like trust in yourself. Once again, trust in your journey. Be willing to celebrate your honor and your virtue and your successes, whether they seem small to you or not. Celebrate the fact that how much you've achieved, how much you're capable of achieving, that there's people championing you, like celebrating you and championing you. And there's people that believe in you very much, believe in yourself just as much. You haven't gotten here at this stage in life, you know, sitting back and doing nothing or not knowing what you were doing. So I feel like here it's saying celebrate yourself as the victor. Celebrate yourself as somebody that has come so far, that take ownership, that everything you've gotten up until here, all the positive outcomes, you've kind of manifested that, not kind of, you've manifested that. You have brought that into being. You've made the best out of bad situations and you've made better out of positive situations and opportunities. So trust in yourself. Make yourself your hero of your own tale. Okay, so once again, guys, this seems to be an issue of confidence. So I want you to get some citrine or some tiger's eye, some golden tiger's eye, some citrine, or yellow calcite. Not a bad idea for you to have, so that you can be able to really be confident in yourself and own your power. I want you to get so in touch with your power, feel really grounded and strong. You might want to get some earth stones for that, some earth chakra stones. So hematite, black tourmaline, obsidian, really grounding and powerful ones. I feel like what you're striving to do is empower yourself and take ownership of your destiny. And I feel that it's about merging forces, merging black and white, good and not so good. It's about merging shadow side and the light side of you. And it's about trusting your wisdom and celebrating who you are. You guys, with every reading, I send out a little love and light and namaste energy. I hope you received it today. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Namaste, guys. Thanks again. Namaste, Obsidian group. Ooh, a lot of energy you guys are sending to me today. Namaste, Obsidian group. Thank you for joining me. As I mentioned in the introduction, this reading is all about the shadow self. For those of you who may not know, shadow is the unconscious, subconscious aspects of ourself that we may be avoiding, unaware of, or not ready to have addressed in the past. or were unprepared to address in the past. But today is the day for you to uncover it. And this reading might not resonate with everyone, but my goal and my hope is always that there can be some sort of life lesson that you can gain from it. Some sort of lesson or wisdom that Spirit is passing through me to you to help make your journey a little bit better, a little bit simpler, what have you, or come what may. Alright guys, position number 1 is, what have you been suppressing about your shadow self? What have you been what have you basically been ignoring or not looking at head on? 9 of Pentacles, which means that you're very capable. Once again, that's very similar to the Labradorite group, but that you're growing, that you're nurturing yourself, that you're building, that you have the desire to build more and create more, and that perhaps that you're deserving of abundance, or perhaps that you're deserving of greater growth, or yearning for more growth, or yearning for more abundance. So this is an issue of growth. I would like to clarify that at the end. So we're going to go back, see what's growing and what aspect of that is being neglected in you. So I do feel like this is an aspect of you needing to come full circle, you needing to feel complete and whole, and you're yearning for something to complete you. You're feeling like deep down inside that you're not addressing, something's missing, something's incomplete within you. Which is not to say you aren't enough and worthy and whole and amazing, but I feel like your spirit is longing for greater growth, some sort of development or abundance that has yet to come to you, and you're yearning for it. And why are you suppressing this urge to grow further, to develop something, or to seek greater abundance? I feel that you have a lot on your plate, and I feel like what's happening is you're taking on a lot. You feel stressed, you feel burdened. Now's not the time to add more to my plate. Now's not the time to overwhelm myself. But perhaps you're focusing your energy on the wrong things. Perhaps you're spreading yourself too thin, and you're not giving enough to your own growth and development and goals that you want to develop. Something wants to come full circle. You want to live your fate and your destiny and your purpose, and you fear taking on too much, because I mean, it's a natural concern when you have so much on your plate. But I want you to even think, maybe we can let some stuff go, or reprioritize my values. Position number 3 is, how do you overcome this need for more and yet this feeling of being burdened and overwhelmed? You know, it's about finding, I know you feel kind of conflicted and you feel kind of stuck, but it's about striking forward even though you don't know which way to strike forward. It's about cutting some things back, as I mentioned, prioritizing. It's about going forward and finding the balance in your life even though you don't know where to start, you know. And sometimes often that's the hardest place to start from. But go with your intuition, go with your gut. The moon here represents intuition and wisdom. Go with that. Go with your instinct. What do I need to cut back in my life? What needs more of my attention? And position number 4 is, where will you find the strength or the ability or the wisdom to be able to strike out and cut some things off and find balance and find justice and find harmony in your life? Once again, follow your instinct, your intuition. I'm kind of seeing the answers before the card comes up, but follow your intuition, follow your instincts, follow your gut when it comes to cutting back stuff in your life. Something needs to grow, but first something needs to be pruned. Some weeds need to be plucked. So I do feel like going forward, to summarize, something wants to grow, something wants to develop in you. You want more. But you feel burdened already. You're saying like, I can't take on anymore. It's too much. And something needs to be cut off. A balance needs to be struck. You feel like, you know, you're kind of going in uncertain waters. You're going in blind. But it's about trusting your intuition and trusting your instinct to be able to lead the way. Trust yourself. I think you need some peace, because you're feeling like really stressed out, and I feel that. So peaceful crystals, you want to get some blue lace agate. You can also get some rose quartz for peace. So generally these are soft hued crystals. I can't find my agate right now, but blue lace agate, rose quartz, things that have calming hues are usually very calming for us. The next thing you're going to want to get is something to charge that sacral chakra. So you can get some red jasper for the root, some carnelian for the sacral chakra, to giving you your place, your purpose, and driving that instinct. Sunstone also works really great for that as well, charging the sacral chakra. So I do feel like work on your confidence, work on lightening your load, and really trust your instincts and your intuition. I know I'm talking about cutting back crystals these days, but I want you to get something for your intuition. That could be amethyst, that could be lapis lazuli, it could be selenite. You guys, with every reading, I add a little love and light and namaste energy. I hope you felt that and received that today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Namaste, guys.